Whenever me and my brother were kids, I was in like fourth grade and he was in sixth grade at the time. We were bullied by a pair of self-proclaimed child Nazis. You cannot make this shit up. I swear to God, they had swastikas in their arms that they carved with fucking thumbtacks. They thought they were hard as fuck, bro. And usually they just called us a bunch of racist names, like whatever their parents were fucking teaching them at the time. They called us dirty spicks, stupid Mexicans, wetbacks, told us to go back to our country, a whole bunch of shit. And usually it just stuck at the name calling, so it wasn't that big of a deal, until one day they started to threaten to unalive us. So me and my brother went home and we got our brass knuckles and we started carrying these brass knuckles around with us in case these kids decided to try to, don't ask why we had brass knuckles. Every kid in the neighborhood had a pair of brass knuckles. It was normal. It's just what it was. Thinking back at it, like as an adult with a child, very concerning, but back then it really wasn't a big deal. Anyways, we had these brass knuckles and we carried them around with us and we thought we weren't going to have to use them until one day we were at a friend's house. This girl had a trampoline in her backyard and all the kids in the neighborhood would go and jump on that trampoline. And she also had like a privacy fence. It was like a 6-foot tall cinder block privacy fence that we would all sit on and wait for our turn to do a backflip on the trampoline. Well, me and my brother are sitting next to each other one day waiting for our turn and we hear these steps coming up the alley. And we turn, and it's the little baby Nazis. And I knew in my stomach that day that something was about to fucking go down because they came running at us and like, we jumped down from the fence, right? So they can't pull us off. Brian puts on his brass knuckles, okay? And he's waiting because these kids are trying to get over the fence. Well, as soon as one of them gets like enough upper body strength to peek his head over the fence, Brian Super Mario fucking double jumps and plays whack-a-mole with this kid's fucking jaw. It sounded like a fucking brick hit this kid's face. And me and Brian went silent for a second. Like it felt like a solid 10 seconds that we were just shook to our core. And then we ran. We fucking ran all the way home. And then me and Brian are pacing in the backyard thinking, oh my God, what the fuck did we do? We just committed a crime. And I'm like, we gotta get rid of the evidence. So I look and I see my dead dog's grave. Yeah, we dug that shit up. We dug the grave up, put the brass knuckles in there, and buried it. And then never talked about it again. And nothing ever came of it because we moved 2 weeks later because my mom got a boyfriend in Texas. I genuinely wonder where those kids are now. Like, are they still self-proclaimed Nazis? Or are they like cringing at what they used to do? Or did they create a whole clan of baby Nazis? I don't know, but I constantly wonder about them. And I wonder if Brian actually broke that kid's jaw because it sounded horrendous. Has it been long enough? I covered up a crime. I'm sure it's been long enough.